morning and welcome to Radio Friends on this Friday, August the 21st. Andrew Grabau is with us from Heart of Missouri United Way, or as I like to say, Andy. Not allowed to say Andy, though. I had to do that, Andrew. Okay, so Andrew Grabau from Heart of Missouri United Way. A little levity there because there's so many serious things going on. What have you got for us today?
Well, good morning. I tell you, if we can't laugh at some silly things, we just have to find it, right? We have to find something.
That's right, Andy.
Yes.
Okay. So what is the important message that you want to get across today?
Well, I appreciate, as always, I really appreciate the opportunity to come on and to share the work of United Way with your listeners, because the work of United Way is made possible by the community. And so, I always like to start by saying the mission of United Way is to fight for the education, financial stability, and health of everyone in our community. And so when I paused on health, because I'd like to talk about that, it's very relevant, of course, in our current environment with the pandemic, but I'd like to just talk about health for a second, because United Way has made, in 2019, we invested over $600,000 in our community that was made possible through community donations to provide additional support around health. And in our community, that is so important to not only to provide that to those in need, but the one thing that United Way focuses on is making sure we do it in a way that addresses systemic barriers or inequities that make it challenging for other segments of our community to get the health care and support they need. So, Paul, for example, in our community, in Boone County alone, we have a heart disease mortality rate of 143 individuals per 100,000. With African Americans in our community, it's 214.
That's much higher.
It's much higher. With diabetes hospitalization rates, it's 18 per 10,000 in our community. It's 57 per 10,000 with our African American neighbors in our community.
And it was the same thing with the coronavirus pandemic.
That's right. So the focus that United Way does when we make our grants and when we make investments in our community, we do so to address those barriers. We address the challenges that individuals have. So if they don't have access to healthy foods or to physical activity or to health care, United Way strategically makes those investments. And that's kind of the one takeaway I want to give your listeners today, is that your gift, your financial support, the money and revenue that United Way receives from the community is strategically invested. And then we analyze the outcomes to make sure that we have a positive impact. So the $600,000 that we invested in 2019 that I mentioned, and by the way, that's still ongoing for 2020. It's just we don't have the final results. That provided assistance to over 25,000 individuals in our community. It through the reporting of those grants, 94% of the people that benefited from those programs had improved healthy outcomes.
94% of them. That's a pretty high percentage rate.
So it is a very high, and what it demonstrates is that when we break down these barriers and provide access, people get healthier. It's not, the system's complex, and I don't want to try to make it seem so.
I know what you're saying.
But we can have, and we are having, a positive impact in our community.
So, when you say you did 94%, that's the same thing as I read a study today. In communities where they have mask mandates, that people are obligated to wear masks, the transmission rate of coronavirus has gone down.
Right. Yeah.
So it's the same thing as what you're saying here.
Yes, that's right. So United Way works with partners like the Family Health Center, Family Counseling Center, Phoenix, Lutheran Family Services, the Food Bank. We work with the city, the county, in making sure that we can all be coordinated, we can have coordination, but we make these investments and break down these barriers so that people can have access. And so I'm really proud of that, and I'm proud of our community responding. But guess what? The need is still there, And in September, on September the 11th, on Friday, we will have our campaign kickoff for our new campaign that will help in funding these programs going forward.
So do you have a new goal?
Well, the goal is going to be interesting because we didn't plan for a pandemic,
right?
so it's going to shift. But I will say that unfortunately, while I'm proud of our investment, in all said and done, United Way invests around $2 million annually in our community. But it's not enough to address all the needs. And so we're going to strive to raise as much as possible this year and to try to bridge that gap.
Do you know what?
It's going to be, we have to, close to $3 million. It has to be
what was
in
it
that
last
range.
year?
We raised just under 2.9, so it's 2.86.
Okay, so you've got to be at least $3 million or more.
Yeah, that's what we.
And that campaign will start on September the 11th.
That's exactly right.
And it will run?
So run through the rest of the year because different companies and community volunteers all start their efforts at various points. One of the things that United Way is doing this year, though, with our campaign efforts, first and foremost, our kickoff usually has a few hundred people there, and we have our Day of Caring, where it's a day long of volunteering. This year, it's going to be virtual. Mawkins is the official sponsor of our kickoff and our Day of Caring. We're doing virtual volunteer projects as well as some smaller ones too.
So this year, the Day of Caring will not be people going out in the community and doing things physically.
That's right.
It will be all virtual.
Yes, and so we're providing, through volunteering opportunities, we're preparing, our volunteers will put together book packets that we're going to drop off to Columbia Elementary Schools, wellness kits that we'll drop off to our agency partners that help people with just some self-mental care and some physical opportunities. And so it's a little bit of a change. In the past, we would have a crew from, let's say, Shelter Insurance would go to Phoenix and would do yard work for the day.
Right.
We just
so
can't
that's
do
different
that
this year.
Yeah.
If people want to help out, if you want to make a donation, of course you can make. You don't have to wait till September 11th. You can make your donation anytime. Right. Just go to www.uwheartmo.org.
Exactly.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. www.uwheartmo.org, and that'll get it for you. And if they want to call.
They can always call our office at 573-443-4523.
Andrew Grabau, thank you so much for coming by.
As always.
Have yourself a nice day.
Thanks, Paul.
PepperPMissouri.edu, something you'd like to hear or see. Bye-bye.